name is Jen Weitzel, and I am here representing the Mount Airy community because our school, Mount Airy Elementary, is currently up for closure. We are opposed to this, strongly opposed, for several reasons. We just don't think that this plan makes sense. Our school operates with 2 buildings, but we identify ourselves as one school. We house 933 students in these 2 buildings. We have a primary school, which is kindergarten through 2nd. We have an intermediate school, which is the one that's slated for closure. That's for 3rd through 5th grade. And if we lose this school, we lose half of our community. The proposal is that we'll be sending 260 of our students north to Winfield Elementary, which is a severely underutilized school in the north, and then we'll be sending an additional 80 students north to Linton Springs Elementary, again an underutilized school. So our concern is that our Pars Ridge will be left packed to the gills with students and will become overcapacitated very quickly. So we're severing our community in half, sending 1/3 of our students away, and we're left with a crowded elementary school in the 3rd largest municipality in the county. What happens when our school grows, when our area grows? We have no room for growth.
Hi, so I'm Tim Brunker. I'm a parent at of 2 children at Sandy Mount School, a kindergartner and a 3rd grader. We moved to Finksburg in 2012 so that our kids could go to this great elementary school, and so that both my wife and I could have an easy commute to our places of work, which are in Towson and in Baltimore City. Finksburg is an incredibly strategic location because it's located just over the county line from Baltimore County on the end of the 14795 transportation corridor. You can get to the metro, so it's a very strategic location for people to move into the county and then commute to their jobs in the major metropolitan areas, which is exactly why we moved here and why a lot of other people who have kids at the school did too. It seems very short-sighted to close down this school and take away this very strategic and desirable location and a reason for people to actually move to Carroll County. Under the proposal option 2, they would split up our kids into 5 different elementary schools. None of these schools are close by. The nearest one of these schools to Sandy Mount is 5.5 miles away.
My name is Catherine Shoup, and I'm a parent of 2 Hampstead students, one of whom is already in North Carroll and one who will be entering North Carroll High School next year. And I am part of the group that is in opposition to North Carroll High School, which includes 83% of the businesses in Hampstead and more than 1,700 people on Facebook, more than 900 people who have signed a petition on paper. Our biggest concern is that by shuttering North Carroll High School, you also take down Hampstead, the town, as well. For 50 years, there has been this synergy between the town and the high school. It's involved in sponsorships, it's involved in hiring students. The students go there after the sporting events. They go there after school. They get their prom flowers from the local florist. And there is this real sense among the businesses that we surveyed, and we surveyed a lot of businesses in Hampstead. They are very concerned that this is going to impact a very fragile recovery for Hampstead after a long time of, after this historic recession. We're now coming back, and we've got a lot of good things going on in Hampstead right now, and this is going to take us, this could take us backwards. So we're quite concerned about the plan to close North Carroll High School.
So as far back as 2011, I started talking about school closures openly in public meetings. The commissioners and I, the last panel of commissioners and I, have been talking about school closures since 2010 in open discussions. In 2012, we had a directive from me to staff to look at closing schools and what schools would we close. I stopped that and made a decision to recommend to the board we go to NGT. And NGT produced a report in 2013, but part of their information gathering was a survey to all the parents and a number of town meetings to discuss the potential of school closures because of enrollment declines and revenue shortfalls as a result of the funding related to student enrollment. The results of those surveys were that most people who responded to the survey did agree that closing schools was a viable option to revenue shortfalls and the concern of declining enrollments. But the report, as many of you pointed out to me, concluded that at that time, in 2013, there was really no need to close schools, but they recommended very strongly that you need to do lots of redistricting to balance enrollments. So a legitimate question from a lot of people to me is, what happened? Why 2 years ago did MGT come back and say you don't need to close schools, and now you're saying you do need to close schools? Well, what happened was 2 more years of declining enrollments, even at an accelerated trend. So what we're looking at is 2 more years and a projection that pushed out the leveling off that was supposed to happen in year 2020. The enrollment projections at that time showed us leveling off in 2020 and then gaining 40 or 50 students, and then the next year we gained 200 students. Well, that's not the case anymore. The enrollment projections in 2025 still show us declining and just a slight leveling off. So we have to take action, and one of those actions that we are considering taking is potentially closing schools.